Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be planning the week of December 4th to the 10th in my memory planner, and I'll be using Christmas movies from Scrub Prince Co. So here is the kit. And then I also paired this with a Dot Confetti foil bundle, also from Scrub Prince Co. And this is the kit freebie. I believe this is pink hollow, magenta hollow, something like that. So you have 2 sheets of your overlays, 2 sheets of underlays, your scripts and icons, and then your bottom washi. So I will speed through putting down the base. Okay, so this is my third plan with me that I'm filming today, so I'm a little tired. Anyway, so I already pulled my stickers and whoopsies, did not mean to do that. Anyway, so pretty much this was my first full week of Hong Kong. Well, not first full week, but essentially I would have landed in Hong Kong this week. Anyway, so to start off, I actually boarded my flight at 1 a.m. but we didn't take off until 1:35. Or actually, we might have left early. I don't remember. Or like, they boarded us early, but by the time we landed, we were an hour and a half, or maybe 45 minutes early. Almost an hour, let's just say that. And yeah, pretty much we boarded at 1 a.m. and the first thing we had was dinner or lunch. Dinner, maybe, because it was buttered penne, or there was another option which my dad got, which I forgot. Anyway, so that was one of the options. And then, oh wow, I could have just spaced that out a little more. So it was buttered penne, and then for breakfast it was fish congee, which it doesn't sound appealing, but it's just rice pudding fish rice pudding. So yeah. Anyway, and then after that, I watched the Barbie movie, which was on. My brother told me it was on HBO, so I did not know that until I knew it was going to be on the plane, so I just ended up just watching it on the plane. And I couldn't watch HBO Max in Hong Kong anyway because of, you know, copyrights and other stuff. And jurisdiction, I think. So, yeah. That was pretty much that. And then I slept most of the flight. So, just using this to mark out. Oh my gosh. You saw that I put it down straight. And it decided to go haywire. Okay, so slept most of the flight. And then there was... So, we flew Cathay Pacific, which is a... they have a direct flight to Hong Kong. We did not want to do... What do you call it? Connecting flights or anything like that. That just would have been horrible with 9 pieces of luggages. So yeah, we ended up just doing that. But Cathay Pacific has snacks as cup noodles as snacks. So when I went 11 years ago, my dad and I, or like, it was my dad, my brother, and I. We all 3 flew first, and then my mom, she only had 2 weeks of vacation, so she ended up flying the last 2 weeks of our vacation. But let's just say when we flew there, we got a lot of cup noodles, but this time we only had 1 because I slept most of the flight, which is why. But when we flew back, they actually had egg tarts, as well as cup noodles. So I took advantage of the egg tarts as opposed to the cup noodles because you can get cup noodles anywhere. But they actually, this time around, there were Cathay Pacific cup noodles as opposed to like the cup noodle brand itself. So that was a difference in that. So that was quite funny. Anyway, so it's gonna be a long-winded Tuesday because there's a lot of things, especially a lot of little things. So let's get right into it. So on to Tuesday, which clearly did not plan this well. What the heck? Like, if I change it now, it's going to ruin the whole scheme of it. So I'm just going to leave it as is. But anyway, we arrived in Hong Kong around 6. And by the time we, like, went through immigration. Like, I was able to follow my parents because they have Hong Kong IDs, because they were born in Hong Kong. So yeah, I was able to follow them, but I also had to fill out a piece of paper, which my dad forgot to do, or tell me, or inform me. So I was scrambling. Where the heck do I have to fill it out? Not just once he did it twice. He completely forgot that I had to fill this thing out because I'm not a Hong Kong citizen. So yeah, it was just ridiculous. But anyway, I'm old enough to do things on my own now, I guess. Anyway, so after that, I marked down, well, actually, let me put down all these little things, because did not space that well enough. So, okay. I guess I'll keep going. I have to make a guide on how many little things, or like the placement of little things, so it's evenly spaced. I should definitely do that. Just like a little marker, or like a piece of paper that just marks out the box to make it evenly. My goodness, see? I did it again. Didn't I? And I can't pick it because my nails. Okay, that was all my pins. So I'm gonna take the idea from Planner Pixie Co. she uses a spatula. So, to help lift the stickers from the edge, and it doesn't really ruin the sticker as much. Okay, now I feel like I put too much spacing, which is okay. Okay. And then the last five of little things. Okay, now back to the top. I should have put down all of those things before. Okay. Let me just put down all of the icons that I pulled from the foil bundle. This is actually the first time that I actually used majority of them, as opposed to the ones that I make. Okay. 5 more to go. And then I actually did cut up one of the headers and use the bows as for like to mark things down because I didn't know what to use. Anyway, so sorry, I just totally slapped my planner. So starting off, after we arrived in Hong Kong, so I had to go to immigrations and customs, or we had to go through, and then we did, I don't know why I said luggage pickup. It was baggage claim. I don't know what I was thinking. I was delirious when I wrote it down, but I just left it as is because I was still delirious when I came back home, and I'm still am because I'm jet lagged still. So I've been up since 3 in the morning, and I'm trying not to take a nap right now, and it's kind of lasting right now. So yeah, I've been up essentially for 13 hours right now. So anyway, so we had a quick bite at 7-Eleven, and then I tried to find the Uber pickup area. It was just very confusing how it was mapped out. It was like, what the heck? So I was so annoyed because of that, because it was very confusing. It was like either the first floor or the second floor, but then it wasn't inside the parking lot. It was outside the parking lot. It was inside next to a hotel, and I was like, where the heck is the hotel now? I was so confused. Anyway, so that was what happened. So, and obviously we had 9 pieces of luggages that we were like hauling around. It was just like ridiculous. So pretty much, and also Uber is not condoned in Hong Kong, but I'm a US citizen, so yeah. And the taxis over there, like, they kind of rip off people, especially when it's going from the airport to somewhere. They charge each piece of luggage, and if they're overweight, they'll charge even more. So they're considered a rip-off taxis. So, and I'm sorry that I'm bashing it, but that's my opinion of it. So we usually don't take the red taxis in Hong Kong. So yeah, pretty much I just Ubered because I had the money, or not money, but money saved in my account, even though I thought it would be transferred from US dollars to Hong Kong, but it was fine regardless. Anyway, so we went to my grandma's. We stayed with my grandma's the entire time we were there, because she would rather us not use any or go to a hotel. But yeah, pretty much. And we got to spend time, or I got to spend time with my grandma. So then I also gave her red envelopes, which was collected during the Thanksgiving family dinner we had. My cousins all pitched, or like contributed to the red envelopes. So each of my cousin, except one of them, because his mom, which is my aunt that deleted my message, she pretty much said, oh, I gave them a lot, or gave her a lot of money. I'm like, but that's different from last time you went. This is her Christmas present. You didn't give her her Christmas present this year yet. So anyway, so that was the whole thing. But pretty much I was responsible to give it to her. So pretty much I took a picture and sent it to the family group chat saying I have already delivered, or I have delivered the red envelopes to my grandma. Then we went to Guntong, which is where my dad pretty much grew up in before he came to America. And then we ate brunch. But by the time we took a shower, or got to my grandma's place, took a shower, did some slight unpacking, and slight organizations, we went to eat at Cafe de Coral. It's pretty much like a fast food chain, essentially, but it was all Asian cuisine. So it's pretty good. Actually, when I first arrived, I'm pretty sure it was either Cafe de Coral that I went to or Fairwood. So those were the two options that I remember when I went 11 years ago. Anyway, so after that, APM Mall was right next door, so we went there. This was the first mall that I ever went into. Let's just say Hong Kong is filled with malls. It's just ridiculous the amount of malls there are, and not only that it's ridiculous amount of malls, some are interconnected. So there's like 2 malls connected to each other. You don't even need to go outside into the street. You can just walk the path, or the bridge, and you're in the next mall. Like, how crazy is that? But pretty much 11 years ago when I went, there was like all the old buildings still, and this time I went, there's a new building that took over all the old buildings. So that is what happened. And then I actually found cute badge holders for my coworkers. So yeah, honestly, I did not mean to make that so tiny, but we also went to Muji because it was also in APM Mall. And yeah, and then I went to go, oh gosh, visit my aunt, which is my mom's. She's number 8 when I call her. Obviously I don't call her number 8, but it's in Chinese, like, she's the 8th aunt, essentially. But, yeah, pretty much I went to go visit her, and I haven't been there, obviously, since the last time I went to Hong Kong. And, yeah, pretty much my other aunt, which is my 9th aunt, so my mom is number 10. She's pretty much goes in order by, number of kids. So my mom was number 10. So her one older sister, which is number 9, she bought Starbucks cups for me when she went earlier this year. So I just and she didn't have room, unfortunately, in her luggage to bring them back to me when she came back. So I had to go pick them up, knowing that I was going anyway, and I had the luggage space regardless. So I went to go pick up my Starbucks cups that my aunt 9 bought for me while she went to Taipei, Taiwan, and then Bangkok, and there was another one, Macau, but she couldn't find the big cups for Macau, but when I went, I was able to go or get it, so it worked out well. So essentially I was able to get my cups, but they're not the same as the Been There series cups, like in the blue box or the green box or the orange box, those ones, but they're different cups, which is fine. I have a cup that is from Taipei and a cup from Bangkok. So that is pretty much my Tuesday, which is so long-winded, like I said. And then on to Wednesday, I did omit some items, essentially, when I typed out the scripts already, or actually no, I already typed out the scripts and then I decided to omit them because I didn't have enough little things because I used them all on Tuesday. So to start off, I marked down that I was tired because I did not have great sleep. I essentially woke up at 5:40 because I was jet lagged, or was not used to, or actually I might have went down early. So not great sleep. It was just a lot of noise, especially my grandma has a thing. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but pretty much it just makes, it's a lotus flower that makes humming sounds, or like praying sounds. I don't know how to explain it other than making it sound weird, but pretty much it was very, I'm just not used to, and it was just very loud. And it just kept me up because all you heard was that kind of sound. Like, it wasn't white noise, but it was just that kind of sound. I don't know. I hope I'm explaining it right. Anyway, or I'm hoping I explained it enough that you understand that he was just not great sleep. So I told my dad, and he asked my mom, or not asked my mom, my grandma, if he can lower the volume, and she said, oh, it can't be lowered. But my dad will find a way. For sure enough. So pretty much that's what happened. And then after that, my grandma had a bunch of stuff for my dad, and we ended up just organizing, or I helped organize and declutter some things because my dad is the youngest, and my dad is willing to help my grandma with things such as bringing stuff to sell in Hong Kong, because obviously my grandma's in her older age, so it's very hard for her to go down the hill. So she lives on a slope, or not a slope, but on a hill. So even though it's like angled down, like it's not steep. I don't know. Well, how am I even explaining all of these things? But anyway, so pretty much my dad will be the one who would walk down with the stuff. She will follow us. Like, we were essentially just going with her pace. But let's just say my aunt that deleted my message, she last time she came, she refused to do anything for my grandma like that. So yeah. Anyway, so I marked down that after that we had dim sum with my grandma. That was the first meal with my grandma, because she had mahjong that day, I think. Yes, now I remember. She played mahjong the day we arrived, so she kind of kicked us out of the house, or her house, or her apartment. So yeah. Anyway, so after that, she was free on Wednesday, so we ended up just going for dim sum. Then we drop off my grandma at the bus stop, and then she takes the bus up by herself. And then after that, my brother called me. So it's like 13-hour time difference from New York to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is 13 hours ahead. So right now it's 5, or it's the complete opposite, if that makes sense. So they're the next day, essentially. Anyway, so my brother called me and said that the bluebird, so I had 2 parakeets, and the blue one passed away like 2 days, or technically 3 days after we left, which was quite sad. So yeah. Anyway, and then my dad had to do some government stuff. It has to deal with getting a ID to go to China, because if you're a Hong Kong citizen, you have the ability to get an ID to travel up to China. So it was just very confusing, like the way my dad explained it multiple times to me, and I was like, huh? So yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, so then we went to Megabox, which is essentially where IKEA is. The IKEA that I known since I went 11 years ago. So went to IKEA, and then I got Swedish meatballs, which I didn't mark, or I made the script for, but I just omitted that. Then we walked in circles by accident, because where we thought the old immigration office was, or registration of persons, which is so funny of how they translated it literally from Cantonese to, or traditional Chinese to English, is registrations of persons. And I'm just like, what the heck? So that's essentially where you get your Hong Kong ID from. And that was pretty much that. And we thought it was over there, or like somewhere else on the opposite side, because that's where we remembered it being. But we should have just checked the map, because they moved. We were clearly going based off of memory, which was 11 years ago, and you know, things change. So that was pretty funny. Anyway, so after that, we were pretty hungry, so we ended up eating pho, and I had dragon eye ice, which is a like sweet drink, and it's just pretty much Longan, if you know what that fruit is. So yeah, and then after that I went to Watson. Essentially that is like the CVS slash Duane Reade here, or in Hong Kong. So that is that. And then on to Thursday. My goodness, I've been talking for 22 minutes and it's only halfway done. So on to Thursday, I marked down that I woke up at 6 a.m., which is technically 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. over there, or at home, New York City. But I was just not used to the time difference, or I've been no. I think I said I was going to bed early, yeah. But then I went to bed late, and I still woke up 6 something, and I'm like, what the heck? So, yeah. Oh gosh. I forgot to pull a sticker for this. Anyway, so after that, I marked down I had a YouTube binge, and then I had kanji with my grandma. So my mom, she scheduled to go to a monastery, or reserved a spot to go to a monastery, and let's just say props to my grandma, like, yes, to my grandma, because in Hong Kong they really respect the elders, and they don't want the elders to be waiting in the hot or like standing too much. So my grandma was able to make us go all the way to the front of the line. So I was like, thank you, grandma, thank you. And we had seats, so it was pretty funny. My dad and my mom, or my dad and my aunts, were all like thanking my grandma for being there, because we would have just waited in the back of the line, not knowing that, yeah, pretty much that was what happened. Anyway, so we went to Chi San Monastery, but when I say it in Chinese, it sounds better, or like more fluid, because, yeah. Anyway, so then after that, it was very nice. It was very pretty. I may insert some photos while I'm talking about this, but yeah, obviously not with my aunts and stuff, but I'll keep family pictures out of it. But I'll just take pictures, post pictures of the places itself, if I remember. But anyway, so after that, we went to dinner with my aunts, because it was a long, also, going to this monastery was very simple, but coming back down, ridiculous. And also, there was this guy that, he was waiting in line for the bus, and let's just say, he was just trying to pick a fight, essentially. He was saying how, like, taxi cabs, or like I said in the beginning, like, Ubers are essentially not a great look in terms of taxi people. Like, taxi drivers who have the medallions and stuff, it's just like they are at war at people with each other. So essentially, this guy was just arguing with my dad, like, why would you order an Uber? And we were trying to figure out how to get down. Like I said, getting out of the monastery was a headache in itself. So this guy just was like arguing with my dad, or not really arguing, was trying to start an argument that, why did you order a Uber? You know, Ubers are bad and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh. He was a taxi driver, so he was bashing Uber drivers, essentially. So I was just like, we're not from here, so yeah. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But it was ridiculous. But anyway, that was that. And then on to Friday, I marked down that I had my first Hong Kong classic breakfast. Did not plan that well at all. So I had my favorite drink, which was a lemon iced tea, or iced lemon tea, which is very interesting on how they, what do you call it? Write it in Chinese, or on the receipt. So it's like a 0, if you know. So lemon is ling, so it would be dong ling, and then tea. And it was just like, every time I see a receipt, it just says the Chinese character for cold, and then a 0, and I was like, what's OT? Instead of not thinking that it was 0. And I was like, oh, because Ling in Chinese could also mean 0, essentially. So that's what happened, and I was like, oh. So anyway, that was that. And then what was it? I think my parents had to do some immigration, or they went to go visit the immigration office, I think. Or my mom, actually no, my mom had to go to get her passport done. So her Hong Kong passport, because it expired. In order to get the ID to go to China, she had to get it renewed, or actually she needed her Hong Kong ID to get it renewed, but you need the passport to get the Hong Kong ID renewed, which was ridiculous. I was like, what the heck? So essentially that's what happened. And then we did some bank stuff because my mom doesn't know the ATM pin, so she has a Hong Kong bank account, but she did not know the ATM pin for it, so we had to figure out that, or change that, essentially. And then we had tea time with my aunt, and then my mom went with her sisters. Oh, and I forgot to mention that my other aunt, the sixth aunt, so my mom has three living brothers, and then the first brother, or technically in total she has 4 brothers, and then 5 sisters, and then, but including her, she would be the 6th daughter. Anyway, so the first one is, he passed away before, at a very young age, so yeah. And then pretty much the second one is an aunt, and she passed away like, oh gosh, 12? No, more than 12 years ago. Maybe 15 years ago. My goodness. Well, that's not, yeah, essentially 15 years ago. So pretty much she's number 2, and then I have 3 uncles right after that, so it would be 3 is an uncle, 4 is an uncle, 5 is an uncle, and then the rest are all girls, which was kind of funny how my grandpa, I'm pretty sure he was trying to chase another boy, but he got all girls. So yeah, anyway, pretty much my 6th aunt, she was also in Hong Kong while we were there as well, so we got to hang out with her in Hong Kong too. So my mom actually, she slept over at my aunt's place, so she hung out with her sisters, but before that we had dinner at her place, and then me and my dad left, my mom stayed. So that's what happened. And then after that, on to Saturday, I literally spent most of my, like, the first week with my aunts. That's how ridiculous it is. So anyway, so starting off on Saturday, oh my goodness, I marked down that I had a YouTube binge. And then, like I said earlier, earlier in the plan with me, that we were decluttering and organizing stuff for my grandma, and this was a day that we had to bring down stuff to sell. So pretty much, you get pretty much money for recycling, or not recycling, but for metal, for plastic, for paper, you get money back, essentially. Which I technically didn't even need to space that much. Oh gosh, will it lift? Yes, it will. Okay. So after that, my mom, she pretty much stayed this night and this night, so I didn't get to see, or like I saw her. Actually, yeah, I saw her, but I didn't see her at night. Oh gosh. Well. So I had wonton noodles with my grandma, and this was a place where we would go almost every other day, when 11 years ago, which is crazy. And they actually remembered our orders every time we went. So yeah, but a lot changed, and the prices obviously went up. But essentially, it's much cheaper to eat in Hong Kong, because of the currency exchange. So anyway, after we ate with my grandma, we dropped her off at the bus stop, and she just, like, I was waiting in line for her, and so they have like seats for the elders, but they obviously, you have to have someone to wait in line for you, or for them. So I was waiting in line for my grandma, and once she was on the bus, we just knew she would just go straight up anyway, because this bus is one stop, or not one stop, but to the stop that she needs to go. So we knew she was safe. Anyway, so then after that, whoops, this is for this. Yes. I went to go visit, I met my mom and my aunts at the, like, and I don't call it train system, they call it the MTR instead of the MTA. So pretty much I met my aunt and my mom at the MTR, and then we took the MTR to my uncle, which is now Uncle 3. So I hope you guys are remembering these numbers. So anyway, we went to visit him. He is in a care facility because of medical stuff, and pretty much that is that. We had like brunch or tea time essentially at a Cha Chan Tang, which is pretty much a cafe essentially. And then after that, we walked around Victoria Park, which I did not realize there was a Queen Victoria statue there, and we were so close to it, and I did not walked over there because my uncle, obviously because of his medical stuff, he can't walk too much, so we had to walk back, which I was quite sad about, but it was okay. We actually I think I meant to use another sticker. Actually, I'm going to use this for this. Oh gosh, I hope I didn't bend that. Where was it? I thought I had it. Was it on this side? Oh, it was on this side. Making sure I'm not bending any extenders. Okay, so I actually need a little tram sticker. I guess I'll just, whoa. You did not see that, but this sticker just flew up in the air. So after that, I marked down, let me just put these stickers down first. Okay, so pretty much there is like an office from the job that I work at in Hong Kong, so I went to go visit it. And yeah, and then after that we actually walked in circles trying to find this office, and all we had to do was just one left turn from the entrance, and we would have been there. But we were walking in circles all around. I was like, what the hell? So oopsies on my part, because I didn't know where I was. So yeah, like I said, I'm always directionally challenged, but once I know. So anyway, so we actually also rode or went on the observation wheel, which is teeny tiny, but I'm also terrified of heights, especially in the dark. So, and we were by water, which is pitch black water, and it just like gives me the eeks. So yeah, I was afraid. So my aunts were sitting, like, I was sitting in between my aunts. So that was pretty funny. They were just holding on to me for dear life, or making sure that I was good. So yeah, it was pretty funny. Anyway, so then on to Sunday, the last day of this week, very tiring. I don't know. It's just like, what the heck is one after the other. But there is a man. He essentially, like, I mean it in the nicest way, but he is a garbage man. He collects garbage in the mornings. And let's just say like, my grandma has her things, like, before we came, so I have to respect that. But 4:43 in the morning, this guy rang the bell, and not just rang it once, rang it twice, and then he was yelling into the door, like, hello, something like that. And I was like, what the heck? And my bed, or like my room that my grandma let me sleep in, is literally by the entrance. So I woke up at 4:43 in the morning, groggy as hell. So it was not the best. Anyway, so then after that, I marked down. I went back to sleep for an hour, but I just couldn't. I had to get up. So, and we also had things planned as well. So my dad, because my mom stayed at my aunt's place again. I forgot a sticker for that. Oh well, I will get it later. So my mom stayed at my aunt's. Oh no, what was I doing? I had McDonald's with my dad. So after that, I marked down, we went to the jockey race course, which it's like horse racing, but actually I don't know how to mark this. I think I just marked it in the middle, right? I think that's what I meant to do. So we did so much walking just to get 2 free hats. Because if you want to get a hat, or like each admission is you get a hat. And let's just say, my grandma, I was not expecting the walk. Like, you would think you can just walk around easily to the front entrance again to get another free thing. But nah, they make it very difficult for you. So let's just say the entrance is like where this thing is, right? No, you gotta walk all the way around. Like, and then this was almost like a ramp to a walking bridge, and that was like at least half a mile away. Not even half a mile. I think by the time you go around this loop, it's a whole mile. I was like, what the heck? This is so much walking just to get free hats. And this is what Chinese people do. There's this one guy, he had 20 tickets, and my dad was like, how many times do you have to go around in this loop? He's like, as many times as my body can. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is hilarious, but also like, what the heck? So anyway, that is pretty funny. But I got a hat for myself, and then I got a hat for my brother. My aunts, they came along, so they got 2 hats for them, her and her husband each. So yeah. And then it was pretty funny because the race, or like, we watched one race, and I was expecting something to be longer, but it was only a minute long, and then you have to wait for 45 minutes for the next race, and I was like, oh wow, what the heck? But it's something different to experience, but I experienced it. So that was that. And then after that, we went what do you call it, market shopping, or like grocery, like the grocery stores, or not grocery stores, but it's like a market. It's filled with, like, you have fish, like different vendors in the whole area. So pretty much I'm just going to market here, but I had dinner with my aunts before my uncle came along, or came back from, because he was in China. So that is pretty much that. And holy cannolis, that was a long-winded plan with me in just the first week. And stay tuned for the next week, because I was literally like, not just one, like only Tuesday. It has this extender, and then these extenders. Like, it was ridiculous. Anyway, so I will catch you on the next video, where you will see probably another hour-long video of the spreads. My goodness, I swear, I was not expecting to do this much, but we did a lot. So yeah, that is pretty much the week in full. I hope you guys enjoyed this plan with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!